Hey everyone, my name is Bobby Ridge. I'm a lifespan extensionist, and we gotta do part two of this video. The first part was the video titled "Reversing Aging and Extending Lifespan to 150 plus years old is the most important goal." Most important goal one can achieve. I might change the title a little bit. But so I discussed. What did I discuss last time? Yeah, I think I just came up with. I shared a few arguments for why I think it's the number one most important goal that somebody can achieve. Dang, this thing's hecka bright right here. And then I feel like I didn't articulate those my arguments as well as I could have. I don't know. I feel like I do such a better job at articulating my arguments like in person than over video and like preparing for them. Like if I'm just like talking to somebody, I feel like I'm way better at like articulating myself about lifespan extension, unless it's something technical. But I don't know. I think I did a good enough job. We'll see. If you can leave a comment down below in the other video, the part one of this video, let me know if like I did well at explaining that. Maybe I should just like record myself like talking to somebody. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm probably overthinking it. So this part two, I said I was going to discuss some quick arguments that I hear people. Tell me really often. They're quick arguments in response to me claiming that lifespan extension is the most important goal that we can achieve. And so these arguments, I only wrote down like maybe 5 or 6 of them. I got how many? I got 5 of them, and there's probably a few more. I should have wrote down the other ones. Whatever. These are like the main ones I hear, I guess, and you can tell that they're not thought out at all, really. But it's interesting that so many people share these same arguments. But you can tell they're not thought out, and they're sort of just like a reflexive response, and it's interesting where these ideas come from. Okay, so here's a list of quick arguments that I hear commonly from to my response to my claim. What they are. And well, hopefully people will stop being so convinced of these things over time. But dude, is that Terry Jackson? Yo, what's up, Terry? I don't know if you're watching right now. Dude, I haven't seen that kid in so long. But here's the quick arguments I hear from people. It's people will say, what about evil dictators that want to, keep us like suffering for extended periods of time, or oligarchs, right? If we're living for thousands and millions of years, then what's up, Terry? Then people are afraid of oligarchs or specific dictators sort of ruling us and making us suffer for that long of a period of time. And that's probably one of the best arguments or responses, but it's obviously not a good argument to support death, but and to not support life extension. But it is a concern that we have to solve, right? Especially augmented beings, because I've been coming up with a conjecture that people who haven't augmented themselves yet and try to take advantage of different transhumanism technologies, they're not going to have a chance against people who've augmented their cognitive intelligence. They've neuroengineered their intelligence by maybe 50 points of an IQ higher, right? And they likely achieved what I call an intelligence escape velocity. And so I think that's who we really have to be afraid of. Is some sort of like some person with a high IQ, way higher than what most people would think, that has maybe psychopathy, right? Another argument I commonly hear is, what about boredom against an argument against life extension? And by the way, I'll do specific videos on each one of these responses, and but in this one, I think I'll give a quick response. How much time do we got left? People will often say to me, you know, it just sounds boring to live for thousands and millions of years, and which is completely insane, right? And you know, maybe it'd be a problem. You think it'd be a problem like a couple million years from now, but I can't imagine being bored for thousands of years, right? There's just so much to do. Hey Terry, you probably think this is so random that I'm talking about living for longer. There's some like really great research coming out, dude. That's gonna help us live to like 150 years old and like reverse many aspects of our aging. And dude, this thing is so fucking bright over here. And you know, of course, with the extra time, we're gonna use that time to live to like 200 years old, 300 years old, and with that extra time, we're gonna keep living longer and longer. It's called the longevity escape velocity. And okay, so and so another argument I commonly hear is people say, you know, I wouldn't want to be aging, you know, biologically aging and like decaying for thousands of years, right? Which is a really silly argument, right? Obviously, the goal of lifespan extension research is to extend health span, is to decrease morbidity, and right now the way research is going, that's, you know, not a part of aging and lifespan extension, and just, you know, people developing single treatments for single diseases, or that approach is actually increasing morbidity. It's increasing biological aging and our decaying, but not by very much. It's very difficult to keep an organism alive and ill for a long time, right? And I remember Dr. David Sinclair, I was watching one of his videos, and he really articulated this like really well. And it was just so obvious after I heard him say it. I was like, you know, that makes so much sense, right? And, you know, just look at, right, we had like 150, what is it? You know, medical research has been really advancing for the last 100 years, like last 150 years, and look how much effort we've put into it, right? And we've extended lifespan by a pretty good amount, maybe like 40 years, but we've been increasing morbidity, in order to achieve this goal that we've achieved of increasing lifespan as much as we have, but increasing morbidity, that's been extremely difficult, right? We've had to put so much energy into that, and I think that supports the argument that increasing lifespan, really what we will see and what experiments have been indicating is we'll see an increase in health span also. You know, we're going to reverse aging, people. That's what's going to happen, right? But really, I mean, a lot more is going to happen than that. Another argument I commonly hear is, what about people just living like, you know, won't things just keep being horrible, right? There's a lot of horrible things that happen around the world. And, you know, people just, they kind of say like, you know, it'd be too difficult to like live in this world for thousands of years when things are like that, things like that are happening. Like, for example, like, you know, severe poverty and, you know, rape and you know, child sex trafficking, right? There's like so many things that are just so horrible, but that's when you really think about it, it's clearly not an argument against lifespan extension research. We need more time to be alive to fix these problems, right? It's pretty difficult to have like a, you know, full-time job, and you know, most people have a low level of education, and, you know, have a bunch of kids, right, and then still solve the world's problems. That's a really difficult thing to do. And then, you know, by the time you have enough money, by the time you're financially secure and you don't have your kids with you, you're fucking like 80 years old and still, right, aging, and now it's still super difficult to solve the world's problems. But if you have extended lifespan, you know, there's a lot of good people in the world, and all those good people had extended lifespans, way more time, and reverse their aging. It's like, okay, now we can solve the world's problems a lot easier. Instead of having to die and start over and over, teaching everybody over and over, it's just so inefficient. I hope my quick responses kind of show you how obvious it is, how obviously wrong these arguments are. But I hear them all the time, and hopefully you see how just like silly they are. But yeah, I'll be doing separate videos on like each one of them. Just doing quick daily lifespan extension vlogs. What else? And okay, and so when thinking about lifespan extension, you always want to consider that things are about to seriously change in the near future. How much time we got? Oh, dude, we're only at 10 minutes. Sweet. Right? Over these next 20 years, we're gonna start seeing sentient intelligence, especially super intelligence, emerge, and we're just gonna be seriously augmented, not just technologically around us, but we'll be augmenting ourselves also, our cognitive intelligence and other forms of intelligence. And so, there's a lot to that. But the one point I wanted to make is it's going to make things like really fantastic, and so this notion of like boredom and it's just really something you're not going to want to miss out on. It's going to be so fantastic. Any definition of utopia, this is what I think is what's going to happen in about like 20, 30 years from now, right, when we're having super intelligence everywhere, and you just see fantastic advances everywhere, and there's a lot of great research on this. If you watch my previous videos, I've discussed a lot of the research supporting my claim right now. I really think any definition of utopia that we have right now is is so diminished compared to what it really will be. We're just not intelligent enough to figure it out, and that's one of the issues with trying to contemplate these things, right? So that's pretty much it for today's video. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel, and you always want to support lifespan extensionists as much as possible. Whenever you see one online, always take the time to support them a lot, right? Or just doing basic things like subscribing, like doing all the basic things that you all know to do. What did Terry say? Dude, I missed you, man. I've seen some of your videos. Just always down to listen to people's thoughts. Augmented life is definitely already around, just won't be accessible to us common folk. Yeah, man. There's a couple of researchers who've augmented themselves, but if you want to see like serious increases in IQ, yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have to go to the higher parts of the government and higher parts of like different tech companies, right? I'm sure if you got to peer into Mark Zuckerberg's or Larry Page's, I almost said Larry David, Larry Page's labs, I'm sure that they have at home. I'm sure you'd see some fucking really impressive stuff. But so over here a little bit more detail. I wanted to give some quick updates, but whatever. I don't really have enough time. I don't like making these too long. But so yeah. That's just a quick couple videos on why I think reversing aging and extending lifespan to 150 plus years old is the number one most important goal. And yeah, I guess leave your comments down below. Let me know if you think if there's any other goals that are more important, or if you think this goal is the most important. Right? It's just a fundamental, really, right? Because if you're dead, then you can't have any of these things and any other goals that you want to achieve, right? That's why when I first met Dr. Arbor Gray at a conference and actually drove him home, dude, it's so epic. I was like so starstruck. Like, how people feel when they see we see like we see like little girls who see like Justin Bieber, right? And they like freak out. Dude, that's what it felt like. I could barely even talk when I was talking to him. But so I told him, I was like, do you feel like this logic is correct with the longevity escape velocity? You need to put other goals on the back burner, right? And focus just about all of your effort on lifespan extension, because once you achieve lifespan extension, then you'll have plenty of time for all the other goals, right? And so, yeah, I can't really think of anything else that's more important, right? Let me try to think of something real quick that other people would think. Nah. Okay, that's it for the video. Yeah. All right, thanks for watching. I look forward to living with all